What if the woman you brushed past at the Detroit bus stop, the one with frost-kissed cheeks and a 5-year-old daughter clutching her frayed jeans like a lifeline, was destined to redesign the very skyline that swallowed her whole? In the shadow of shuttered factories along 8 Mile Road, Emily Hargrove wasn't just invisible, she was a ghost in her own life. At 28, erased by the relentless grind of a city that chewed up dreams and spat out statistics. Old high school friends from Cass Tech scrolled past her desperate Facebook posts without a second glance, their feeds filled with lakefront vacations, while she tallied 47 in crumpled singles under the dim glow of her '98 Chevy Cavalier's dome light. Parked behind a boarded-up strip mall, the car's heater wheezed on empty, blankets reeking of spilled ramen, and regret cocooning her and Lily through another Michigan winter night. Emily's hands, scarred from 8-hour welding shifts at the Ford plant, where she'd earned $12 an hour until the 2016 layoffs hit, now scrubbed grease from quick lube bays for $9 an hour, her back aching like a rusted hinge. Rent for the Corktown studio they'd fled 3 months back? $800 a month. A phantom debt haunting her voicemail with robocalls from collectors. Food stamps bought powdered milk and off-brand Cheerios, stretched thin for two. Lily, with her wild curls and eyes like polished river stones, asked every night, "Mama, when's home?" Emily swallowed the lump in her throat, the lie she'd believed since her own shotgun house childhood on Livernois Avenue. Folks like them didn't rise, they just sank deeper into the rust. But on that rain-lashed Tuesday in April 2017, as distant sirens pierced the fogged windows, Emily pressed her lips to Lily's fever-damp forehead and murmured, "Soon be. Mama's gonna make it roar." The city that had forgotten her was about to learn her name the hard way, or would the silence swallow her for good? Emily's story wasn't born in headlines. It rooted deep in the cracked sidewalks of southwest Detroit, where her father hunched over assembly lines at the Rouge plant, coughing up 40 years of exhaust fumes for a $600 monthly mortgage that never quite covered the leaks. Her mother flipped eggs at a Grand Boulevard diner, pocketing $2 tips from truckers who barely looked up, while Emily, sharp as a torque wrench, aced algebra at Cass Tech in 2006, her prom queen crown a fleeting sparkle before life swerved. At 21, a summer fling with Tommy, the grease monkey charmer from the neighborhood garage, bloomed into pregnancy. Lily's ultrasound, a blurry promise amid the panic. They married in a courthouse blur, scraping into a $650 one-bedroom in Hamtramck, walls thin as cardboard and alive with neighbors' arguments. Emily traded scholarship dreams for the plant's roar, clocking 12-hour swings on the welding line, sparks dancing like fireflies as she fused chassis frames. Her $12 an hour paycheck, halved by childcare at the Mack Avenue preschool. Lily arrived howling on a sticky June day in 2013, her tiny fists balled against a world already stacking odds. Tommy stuck around for 2 years, his "I'll be back after bar shifts" turning to ghosting when the bills piled zero child support, just a forwarding address in Kalamazoo scratched on a napkin. Emily's days blurred into survival's brutal rhythm, 6 a.m. Bus rides jostling 40 minutes through pothole-riddled streets to drop Lily off. Then another commute to the plant where foremen barked orders over the clang of metal. Overtime blurred into side hustles, nights cleaning downtown high-rises for $10 an hour, dodging security's side-eye as she vacuumed marble lobbies that mocked her frayed sneakers. Evenings collapsed on the sagging couch, Lily's head on her lap, scrolling, indeed on a phone screen cracked from a dropped welder's helmet. Job listings demanding bachelor's degrees she couldn't chase with $4,000 a year tuition at Wayne State looming like a locked gate. The lie festered. Success was for the Grosse Pointe kids with LinkedIn polish and family safety nets. Not her, the punchline from the wrong side of Woodward, peeking at that '06 homecoming float. But when the Chevy's battery sputtered dead, one muggy July morning in 2017, stranding her 3 miles from the temp agency with Lily's backpack slung over one shoulder, a spark flickered in the rearview. What if this grind wasn't the finale, but just the overture waiting for her cue? The blows landed heavier with each passing month, like semi-trucks barreling down the Ambassador Bridge, testing the Chevy's shocks until they buckled. It started with the Corktown eviction notice taped to their door, like a scarlet letter: $800 unpaid rent, plus $200 in late fees. The landlord's tiger's cap silhouette vanishing as he swapped the locks, while Emily pulled a double at the gas station register, nodding off over lottery tickets. She returned to her life's wreckage, piled curbside under a bruising August sunset. Lily's stuffed bear muddied, a cracked frame of Tommy's rare smile. Eviction sting sharper than any arc welder's flash. Frantic, she crammed it all into the Chevy's trunk. Lily's whimpers the soundtrack as they idled in a mire lot, heat rising like accusations. Then Lily's fever spiked a stomach bug from the underfunded daycare, tiny body racked as Emily raced to Henry Ford Hospital's ER on the 14th of February 2018. Valentine's balloons mocking from the waiting room. IV drips and antibiotics tallied $2,300, a bill that landed like a gut punch. Emily pawned her simple gold wedding band for $150 at a pawn shop off Gratiot. But the collector's dawn calls grated like sandpaper. Pay or we garnish. Oh wait, what wages? Hers? Spotty 20-hour weeks folding towels at a Ferndale laundromat for Michigan's stingy $7.70 minimum, tips non-existent in the steam-hazed air. Desperation sparked a Hail Mary. Grandma's cherry pie recipe from Traverse City Orchards. Visions of a food truck, Empire dancing, as she donated plasma twice weekly, needles in both arms. $50 a pop to scrape $300 for a church kitchen rental at $20 an hour. First pitch at Easton Market on a crisp Saturday in March. 6 pies at $15 a piece. Oven fresh with lattice crusts flaky as hope. Crowds milled past kale stalls and cider presses. She sold 3 to pitying retirees, netting a $47 loss after gas and flour. Undaunted, she doubled down for Ferndale's farmers market the next weekend. 12 pies, priced at $12 to lure browsers, arms aching from 4 a.m. Needs. But gray skies unleashed sheets of rain, tents sagging like her spirits, umbrellas shielding kale over her homemade sign. 0 sales. The empty flour sack rode shotgun home, a silent judge. Third strike scorched at the state fair in mid-August. $400 booth fee begged from a Lansing aunt who wired it with a "don't blow it" text. Emily rose at dawn, prepping 20 pies in the church's sweltering kitchen. Lily's sticky fingers helping with dough balls. Her spot? Tucked beside reeking porta-potties on the Midway's edge, Ferris wheel lights taunting as families thronged corn dogs. By dusk, 2 pies to sympathetic fairgoers. $24 pocketed after costs $400 vaporized. 80 hours of sweat equity in the wind. That night, slumped against the Chevy's hood in a Ford lot, smog veiling the stars, Emily's sobs shook her frame as Lily tugged her sleeve. "Mama, cry, why?" The weight crushed. How far could rock bottom drop before it dragged them under for keep? October's chill bit deeper than the rejections. The library's heavy door clicking shut behind Emily and Lily on a Wednesday evening in 2017, like the final gavel on her unraveling. She dragged them there post-Cobo Hall job fair, where 500 desperate souls like her jostled for 20 barista gigs at $8.50 an hour, resumes fluttering like defeated flags. The free Wi-Fi hummed with fruitless applications, story time's giggles, a cruel tease, before the guard's "closing time, ma'am," echoed hollow. Outside, frost etched the windows of the Detroit Public Library on Woodward. The shelter's waitlist bloated to 200 names. No beds. Just a voucher for the YWCA's drafty cots if they lucked in. Bundling Lily tighter, Emily fired up the Chevy, fumes the only warmth, and prowled past the riverfront's neon casinos, where high rollers' fortunes spilled while hers trickled to dust. At a stoplight on Jefferson Avenue, high beams snagged a billboard's glow: free online business bootcamp, build your empire from scratch. Wayne State Extension, low-income moms welcome. Grant funded, no strings, modules on e-commerce, dropping weekly. Emily's pulse-hammered business? For suits in midtown lofts, not welders with oil stains etched in. But Lily's hunger growl cut the doubt. Pulling onto the shoulder, phone trembling, she tapped enrollment at 11:47 p.m. The confirmation emails ping a spark in the dark. "Welcome, Emily. Lesson 1 tomorrow. No sleep that night, just the river's black lap against the seawall, her vow carving stone. No more handouts. She'd forge her path, stitch by stubborn stitch. As dawn clawed the horizon, that gnawing whisper returned. Could a car-sleeping mom from the D really summon an empire from scraps? Emily plunged into the boot camp like a lifeline tossed in a storm. Its 6 modules over 3 months, her unyielding anchor amid the chaos. Mornings ignited at 5 a.m. Lily's soft snores the backdrop as Emily huddled under a threadbare quilt in the Chevy, earbuds channeling lessons on supply chains and Shopify setups. Her notebook, a scavenged spiral filled with frantic scrawls. Theory ignited action, but habits armored her soul. Post Lily's library discard bedtime tales, she'd lace thrift store Nikes and pound the 3-mile loop around Belle Isle Park. Potholes jolting her joints, waves slapping the shore in rhythm with her gasps. One step, then fight, she'd rasp. Miles stacking to 25 weekly by November's end. Lungs searing but doubts blurring in the burn. Setbacks snarled the path, her maiden Etsy launch of custom totes, sewn on a borrowed Singer in the YWCA laundry. Bombed with 47 listings, drawing 0 bids over 2 weeks. The app's silence a slap. She ripped seams, restitched under dashboard light, relaunched with grit-fueled captions, still echoes. Module 4's digital marketing dove hit like caffeine. She spun Instagram reels of calloused hands, threading needles by Bic flicker, voice raw. From factory floor to your door, this is Detroit tough. Followers crept, 12 inches week 1, swelling to 87 by December's chill. Cash? A mirage, $1,200. Electric shutoff loomed. Lily's outgrown sneakers splitting at the toes for $450 she didn't have. Pawning grandma's locket netted $80. Shame twisting as she forwarded her bootcamp progress to a temp agency that chuckled. No biz cred? Flip burgers. Fury propelled her next run 8 miles. Calves screaming fire. A personal best etched in sweat. Layers built. Nightly chapters from Rich Dad Poor Dad jotted on laundromat napkins. 20-minute YWCA cold showers jolting discipline at dawn. Cold calls climbed to 150 targets in Ferndale and Royal Oak boutiques, pitching handmade swag bags. 142 no's like ice picks, but 8 yeses bloomed. $900 in December orders. Enough for a $650 basement walk-up in Greektown, walls peeling but a lockable door and real mattress. Lily's awe lit the dim bulb. Our castle, mama? Emily crushed her close, pulse thundering. New Year's snow muffled the city that eve, but as fireworks cracked distant, a shadow slithered. Was this climb solid, or just vertigo's tease? The pivot ignited in early 2018. The bootcamp's diploma PDF, a quiet torch as Emily funneled $200 from swag sales into Hargrove handcrafts on Shopify. March 15 launch day, a solitary toast with gas station coffee. Totes from upcycled factory scraps, scavenged from Packard plant's skeletal ruins, denim reborn tough as her hide. First month? $142 gross. Domain fees gnawing profit to bone. Despair clawed after Lily's urgent care fever run-up, $180 out of pocket stinging fresh. Emily wept into her pillow, fists balled against the Y. But ritual rekindled. Run, read, relaunch. TikTok beckoned. Her clips raw stitching under string lights, overlay cracking, trunk to triumph, one thread at a time. Views surged. 500 week 1. 12,000 by April's thaw. Orders trickled to torrent $3,400. May gross $1,200 profit, fueling a part-time hire. Maria from the shelter at $12 an hour for 10 weekly. Stumbles scarred. A 500 tote Ann Arbor co-op bulk, botched 2 loose stitches, $600 refund and Yelp venom, but Emily mended overnight, redelivering at 3 a.m. for a hard-won 5-star. Habits hardened morning journals logging 3 gratitudes amid the grind, 50 daily dials sharpening her pitch. Summer scorched into the Detroit venture cohort, free accelerator for overlooked founders. Her pitch sustainable bags from urban waste, moms to moguls landed a $5,000 micro grant on July 4. Fireworks blooming over the river as Lily waved a sparkler from the bleachers. Emily's vow ceiling, from ghost to general. Revenue crested $28,000 by year's close. Ditching laundromat steam for a 400 square foot midtown lease at $1,200 monthly. Machines humming like heartbeats. Yet as autumn's leaves skittered woodward, that old fracture ached. Could she vault higher without the height hurling her back? Breakthrough shattered the vault in 2019's fever. Emily's weave of will finally ensnaring fate. A Chicago lifestyle blogger's TikTok scroll snagged her reel, Mom Boss Men's Motor City Scraps, blasting it to 150,000 followers, orders avalanching, 1,200 units February alone. Midtown stacks teetering with recycled bolts. Metrics etched her map. $67,000 net that year, leaping from $14,000 prior. 4,500 customers threading nationwide. The Quake? Ford's sustainability wing scouting eco-swag. Emily's deck, forged over 90 sleepless nights in the lease's glow, clinched $150,000 for $10,000. Green Fleet totes on May 22, her handshake firm as riveted steel. Scales surged wild. She sourced industrial machines secondhand for $4,000, onboarding 3 more cohort moms at $12 an hour. The space a symphony of whirs and laughter. Lily sketching designs at a corner desk post-Cody High pickup. Pandemic clawed 2020, but Emily pivoted to mask linings from scraps. 75,000 units, shipped via FEMA grants to straining hospitals. Revenue roaring $450,000 despite shutdown ghosts. By 2021, $1.2 million grossed. Team at 15 strong. All women yanked from edges, their stories stitching the seams. Personal anchors dropped. 3-bedroom Palmer Park craftsman bought $285,000 cash, closing June 12 on Lily's 8th birthday. Backyard swing creaking under her squeals instead of Chevy shocks. No more fog dawns, string lights now lit barbecues. Forbes sniffed 2022 forgotten founder Stitch's empire, pegging her $3.5 million net. But Emily shrugged, metrics paling to impact. $50,000 ceded to YWCA. 200 moms mentored in free workshops, their first sales a echo of her pies. Spotlights warmed, yet shadows lingered in quiet runs. Did triumph mute the mend, or merely magnify the mending? At 35, Emily Hargrove's mirror caught a woman etched by fire laugh lines from Lily's quips. Not inherited ease. Her Woodward flagship, a 2,000 square foot Pulse, opened Labor Day, 2023. Lines coiling like proud rivers. $4.8 million revenue, threading REI racks coast to coast with backpacks and belts. Mornings synced 5-mile riverside trots, Lily's pink bike wheels humming beside, breaths meshing like old allies. Journals brimmed gratitudes now, for Tommy's void forging ferocity, the $2,300 bill bartered to $800 via Medicaid doggedness. At the accelerator, she circled chairs for resume-clutching moms, dispensing raw arithmetic. 1,825 cold calls, birthing Ford's windfall, 142 walls, before the $900 breach. That sting? It's your spark, she'd say, voice steady as Lake Street Claire's horizon. Lily, a student at Cody with Volcano Fair flair, handed starter kits at workshops, her empathy a quiet crown. The 2024 Hargrove Hive Fund poured $250,000 into single mom seeds, her lead grant to a pie-pushing baker, a nod to ghosts past. Thanks flowed scripted to the bootcamp, mentors 2A, M, email lifeline, Maria's eye-snagging stitch. TEDx Detroit's March 2025 stage gripped her, sea of faces from factory aprons to corner offices. I was the shadow, you skipped the Chevy mom wagering solo when the world cashed out. Truth? Your pit's no plot killer, it's the page 1 roar. Thunder rolled, but Emily's gaze locked Lily's front row beam. Backstage kneel, arms tight. We wove it beam. The city's thrum horns hulls pulsed her match. No myths of merit left, she'd bellowed hers from self-spun spires. In Palmer Park's hush, that September eve of 2025, coffee steaming on the oak counter, Emily traced the weave from $47 fistful to millions in motion, invisibility inverted to indelible. The truth read, ripples unbound, 500 women woven into her chain, kids like Lily, scholarship-bound sans wants wait. Saturdays summoned her to YWCA reads, toddlers in worn coats ear-hooked to tails, her cards slipped gentle. Dream fierce, sprout. Launch now. Scars softened, not scrubbed plateaus etched before pinnacles, recalls that every unravel precedes the rethread. As first flakes dusted the lawn, Emily knotted Nikes for the run, Lily chattering science fair sparks, path unfurling, pothole pocked but hers. That inaugural query, once a wound, rang resolved. Yes, scripts rewrite from today. Yours too. What's your first stubborn scene? Comment day one below. If this sparks your stitch, your saga starts here, one defiant pull at a time.